heat recovery units. Heat recovery units, it's quite simple for somebody to understand. It's like bringing fresh air in the house 24/7, like a Class A office building.
Guys, we'll have here today Alex Skouras. He's the CEO of Amber Forest, probably the most innovative project in Romania at this point. We can say that. Yeah.
Innovation is one of the words that a project can be described, not necessarily about Amber Forest.
Yeah.
But I think that, yes, it has to be seen from I would say the 360-degree concept is mainly what is representing the project, is representing us, and the vision towards the future. So thinking sustainably, thinking with an innovation mind, but on the same time looking throughout all the angles, all the perspectives, in order to address the needs and give answers to the questions and to the issues that our fellow citizens have, and they are willing to buy home, to move, to raise their children, to grow their family. We are looking only, and we have until now, I think, talked and met to more than 6,000 families, and our main concern is actually the end user. So besides very specific examples that I'm happy to share with you, from the initiation of the project, the whole project has been designed and thought and developed in order to address and to sell to end users. We have sold more than 350 units in Amber Forest, and 97% plus are actually to end users. So it's the vast majority of that.
That's great. So you heard him. Basically, we have close to 700 homes or even more.
The total is almost 500 houses and 200 apartments. So around 700 indeed.
700 indeed. In the northern side of the city, basically in Tudor, close to Otopeni, so very close to the business area of the city. I say that it's the most innovative because there's no other project at this scale, at this point, implying basically so many green solutions within the project in Romania, as we speak now. There are projects, we know many, but at this scale, 700 units, one time, one shot, basically the whole project is something big. So you guys, developers, investors, people looking to buy a house, stay tuned until the end of this conversation, because you're gonna get to meet the guy behind the curtains, behind the project, and we're gonna see his vision and the vision of probably future projects in Romania. Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about the present and clearly history, past, brings us to present and analyzing what has happened. We believe that the future will be coming, which I'm quite optimistic, because I think that the entire market has raised already the level of quality. Let's go back to, I'm here in Romania, permanently living since 2003. So it's almost 20 years now being a developer in Romania. So I have seen, as I'm sure you have seen as well, all the ups and downs of the market, all the full education and changing of the market. It's a much more educated market. In the very beginning, people were just asking price per square meter and what is the finishing? Are you having parquet or laminated? And what is it a massive parquet? And is it PVC or aluminum windows? Meaning they were really the basics that is being asked, which is normal in a market which is getting education, and it's happening. It's a dynamic market all over the world. But clearly the market has evolved, and we are looking about the majority of the developers have raised the level of what they are delivering, what they are designing, and what they are constructing. But the main concept should be to see it from day one, to see it from the very beginning, that somebody is acquiring a lot and designing what he wants to develop, make a proper analysis of what he would like to design, develop, construct, and deliver, and accordingly stick to his concept, stick to his values, and to make it happen. Oftentimes you need sacrifice, you need to invest, and not only time. For Amber Gardens, which we started, and it's the first passive house project built in Romania, we started the design of it in 2014. It took us 1.5 years just for the design of the project, analyze the market, do all the education and training with our architects, with the Passive House Institute, to design all the details of the house, things that the vast majority of the clients, they cannot even, not only see because they are in the construction, they cannot even understand when you're explaining about foundations that are isolated, about thermal insulation up to 30 centimeters, different type when it's a concrete, different type when it's a wall, a brick, heat recovery units, heat pumps, bring fresh air in the house 24/7, preheating it, pre-cooling it, solar water collectors, photovoltaic panels. It is quite interesting, the fact, talking about the market. When we first started with Amber Forest, with Amber Gardens,
yeah.
we were putting heat pumps and the system from Rehau, radiant panels circulating hot water and cold water in the ceiling. So it was completely new. It's the most expensive, most luxury way of heating and cooling the house if it's properly done. The whole house has to be designed as a proper house. If you do put the system in a standard house, it will not properly work. But the market was not ready, and they were not really feeling comfortable. They knew about, underfloor heating and air conditioning, cooling inside, incorporated in the ceilings as cooling and heating underfloor. So we had to educate the market at one point, that we had to tell them, okay, we take it out, and if you want it, it's an extra option. And then they start, because until then they were saying, okay, the Greeks, they are a bit tricky. We don't really know what is exactly the case. So the market has evolved all these years. From 2003 until now, we see a huge education and change of the market. End users, banks, they have green mortgages. Public authorities, they are some of them trying to incentivize green development.
At the moment you started Amber Gardens, so basically the former project, was anybody else using heat pumps in new constructions, in new projects in Romania?
I don't think so. No. We were the first house, starting from 2014, designing as an NZEB, and actually much higher than the NZEB standards, which theoretically now it's obligation for all the developers, and still they are not respecting this obligation. And I think it's a matter of time when the authorities will not be giving actually permits if it's not a properly designed NZEB building, whatever it is. No, heat pump was just an example. But it takes time, for somebody to sit in the shadow. Somebody has to plant the tree several years ahead. And we felt that this is where we wanted to go. This is where the market would appreciating our efforts. And we are happy to see that indeed we were right in this direction that we took almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. I remember a couple of years ago when I was in your office at Amber Gardens, and you showed me the plans of a big project that you're planning to develop close to the former one, called Amber Forest. I have to admit that at that point I didn't quite believe that it's doable, really, because I knew from the beginning that you want to implement all the sustainable solutions possible, and at that point Romania wasn't ready. I quite remember that there wasn't any project that was even thinking of doing more than standard thermal gas heating system inside the apartment, so not even heating system for the entire block. So it was kind of futuristic. It was kind of before its era. But a couple of years ahead, to our days, I can see that it really worked. So congrats for that. Tell me a bit about how the project began, how you managed to get the land or to design the entire project before basically its inception.
So we are developers in Romania since 2003. We established with my partners Alex Skouras back then, and we have done all types of projects. Our focus was from the beginning residential, but we have done also other types of projects. However, the residential were apartments in the city center, medium, high, sector 1 mainly, that we felt that this is where we wanted to give our added value. 2014, we did a very extensive, not only talk between us, but also analysis of the market, and we strongly felt that the way we would like to see our company moving is towards housing. We felt that there's a niche and the market that will be increasingly booming, and the demand was there and would be there in the near future. So we started with Amber Gardens. It's a 5-hectare project, again on Tunarias, very well you mentioned, when we also met first time. And we designed the passive house concept, being a community, being having a beautiful, in our view, of course, houses. We have won 23 awards from Annuala de Architectura, 2 times the Green Forbes Award, and several other construction design awards. And we started meeting people, meeting families, understanding and hearing them and understanding their needs. And they were talking obviously pre-COVID, way pre-COVID. So as we felt that the market was going there, and for me, very interesting data was that back then, a few years later even, the market and the people living within the city limits of Bucharest, 91% of them were living within the city limits and only 9% out of the city limits. While if you would be seeing peer cities, this would go even close to 50-50 in Warsaw. 70-30, 60-40, 75-30, 65-35. So the 9% for our view was clear that it will be increasing, and more people will be going towards out of the inner city from the city limits. The direction for us was clear that it would be the north, because this is where you had also better infrastructure. You would have also mainly the office hub that already had moved from the Piazza Victoriei, where it is today, to Promenade area, to Floreasca area, so it's closer towards the north. You have the infrastructure, the plans for the new streets that now, like A3, it's already finalized, the extension of DN1, Pipera to Nari being enlarged. So we felt that this is the area where we wanted to see, and we have heard the market that it was indeed a product that if it's well thought, it would be very, very well appreciated and welcomed. In our gardens, we have a tennis court, we have a basketball court, we have a playground, we have green areas, but we don't have actually the full community that we felt that it's needed. So understanding the market, hearing the market, we actually, as I said, have talked to up to now to 6,000 families, and we felt that where we should be going would be everything that a modern family needs. Education, so kindergarten, school, sports, all type of facilities from basketball to tennis courts to swimming pools. Where should I go and have a bite with my family or with my friends? So restaurants and coffee places and macelleria and bruteria and dry cleaning and pharmacy and polyclinic and a co-working hub. So this is where we want to go. We have a 5-hectare park, so we felt that you need this. So in order to proceed with this, you need a much bigger area. We liked very much Tunari, so it has the Neonu, it has a connection, it has Piper-Tunari connection, it has the Cintura, and it has also A3. So we felt north and Tunari is the area where we wanted to move on and proceed. And we found this, after a lot of course, searching, these 31 hectares, which are also very close to Tunari and very close also to Amber Gardens, where we thought that this is where we will be having our new project, which we were designing again from scratch with all the knowledge for more than 1 year, having a 31 hectares piece of land, working together with our architects of how this should be implemented, in our view, in a modern, sustainable community, answering to all the needs that the Romanian family will be having. So this is actually where we are today. We are so happy that the market is appreciating our vision, is sharing with us our vision. We have, as I said, more than 350 families that they have trusted us in Amber Forest only about delivering their home and raising their children and sharing their lives with people that they are sharing similar values, which I find is very, very important. So indeed, we have now smaller houses, bigger houses, shirite, duplexes, individual houses. We have some apartments, low-rise apartments, again, that they will be fitting very nice to the community. So this is where we came up with our concept and with the product we're having right now.
You know, in tech, it's a saying that says that you don't need only the trust of the people in terms of what they say, you need their trust in terms of what they pay. So the fact that they trusted you with their wallet, that's basically the best confirmation possible. So I understand that basically half of the entire project is already sold at this point. You said to 350 out of the 700 units. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically with the construction at which stage at this point?
So it's half of the project, but at the same time it's more than half than the first phase, because this project was in any case thought to be phased out. To be more specific, because this project and these trends, we were seeing it pre-COVID, the initial thought of us was that the first phase would be a little bit more than 100 units. Then COVID hit, this very unfortunate situation with COVID that obviously made us all think the priorities in our lives, what we are considering that is more valuable and more important than other elements, it also made us change many things in our lives. So COVID worked actually as a catalyst, accelerating the trends that they were already there in the market. The fundamentals were there, the needs were there, but it was a catalyst accelerating what was already in the market since, in our view, 2014, 2015. And more and more people started thinking about, I would like to live in a different home because here I do not have enough light. I do not have enough fresh air. They start experiencing their homes. They started living, not just waking up in the morning, going to the office, coming back late at the evening, having dinner, spending some time sleeping, and then maybe during the weekend spending some hours, but yet again they would go out. They started living in their home. So they started realizing that maybe where they are living is not where they would ideally like to live. More fresh air, more light, more space for the children to play, possibly a small garden, an extra room for being able to work as well in the house. So all these criteria made also the people think differently, and the hybrid model also of working is what it probably made even easier for taking a decision. Okay, I'm looking towards a different lifestyle, and yes, this developer who is here 20 years and has delivered what he has promised already in Amber Gardens in a similar concept, and now he's actually zooming out from the house and going towards seeing the integrated 15-minute city, this ecosystem of the community. This is where I want to go, and we are really appreciating that we had this trust of more than 350 families until now buying their future home in Amber Forest.
I have some friends that bought from.
Okay, happy to hear that. Hope they are happy with it.
As far as the project is concerned at this point, I think they are very happy. I believe probably.
Waiting you there then?
Actually, I think I was a bit late. You know, I just told that I bought a house.
Yes, indeed.
At the beginning of this year. And when we bought it, we needed basically a place more to the east. This is where my fiancée works at this point. And I thought to myself that if we stay closer to her office, probably she will be happier, and we're gonna be happier. So
she's.
Yeah, she is. It's like 1 minute from her office, so it's okay. But in the second phase, or in future project, we have to talk, because for sure the community of people sharing same values, sports incorporated, many facilities as kindergarten, schools and stuff, it's a great asset. And I believe that it gives you more years if you are happier inside the community and sharing basically so many things that basically you need for your lifestyle, as a school, as a fitness gym or stuff. Probably you gain like 10 years of your life, and you are even happier in all these years until those last 10.
Theoretically, this is you are gaining precious time.
Exactly.
Time is clearly the only real.
But it's not only about gaining time. It's not only mathematics. You know, there's a study that says it's based in 5 different locations on the globe. It's I think one in Sicily, as far as I remember, one in Japan, one in Greece, in one of the islands, Costa Rica, and I don't know the last one, in which they studied for many years the communities basically living there, where there is a big concentration of people reaching 100 years old. And at the beginning they thought that is because what they've eaten. Of course it wasn't. It was because they did a lot of sports. It wasn't. They actually were a bit sedentary. So it was the opposite. And after checking many of the checks on the checklist, they came to the thing that they are basically happy in a community that supports them. And they saw this by walking on the streets and seeing people during the weekends that going from one to the other, and to a grill, maybe to a pasta evening, staying together and talking to each other. And this happened to be in all the 5 locations. Then at the end, the conclusion of the study, basically it's science. It's not only empirical evidence, it's science basically. They said that the conclusion is that you basically can live longer if you live in a community that shares your values and supports you on the way.
It makes a lot of sense. Me personally, I was living in our first project with my wife and our 2 boys, and 4 or 5 years ago I moved in Amber Gardens. There is no comparison the way that I'm seeing ourselves living as a father, as a husband. My boys the same. How is the entire interaction with the community? It's for sure what you are saying about adding years, but the years that you are having, not to mention that they are even more, they are with much more quality.
Exactly.
Because you're going with a barbecue, the kids are playing on the streets. It's what we had when we were raised in Greece, in Romania, all over this neighborhood concept that right now it's not anymore the case. Because of iPhone and social and Facebook and tablets, clearly. Because of things that they are more dangerous today, and you are more afraid as a father letting your child being on the streets, cars and many other activities, clearly. But the fact that the parents of today, they do want to give this type of life to their children, I think is very important, very crucial. And this is what we felt that it's happening. And if you design properly an ecosystem, a community that can support this, is automatically what the people are looking and asking, and is exactly what you mentioned, sharing similar values. Because whoever is coming in this type of project, he's not coming because it's the cheapest or the most expensive, or it's beautiful, the house, or not. There are many elements, but the important elements have to do with sustainability, have to do with how I'm thinking about the future of my children, how I see the future of our planet, how I see several things in life that without knowing who's your neighbor, you automatically know that your neighbor most probably had checked the same boxes when he decided to buy a house. So this is the community that you are referring, and I completely agree, that gives a lot of value to our lives.
You heard it. I want to go a bit back in your life, if you are okay with it, because we are at a podcast. So people in podcasts actually don't want to see only the technicalities, want to see also the people behind the technicalities. And I have this, in Romanian it's easier, but I'm going to say it in English directly. In Romanian it's like this, de unde vii, nu, cum te strigă, de unde vii și ce te mână în luptă. Translated into English will be, where do you come from, what's your background, and what's your drive. It sounds a bit corny in English. In Romanian it's a bit funnier.
Okay.
So tell us a bit about you. How do you arrive here in Romania? What's your background back in Greece? And I'm really keen to see the story, if you're okay with...
Sure. More than happy to share. So I did I'm an engineer as education. I did my bachelor's and my first master's degree in engineering in the Greek Polytechnica in Greece. Then I did another master's in management in London School of Economics in London, and I was really happy seeing the difference of culture and the difference of, meeting more nationalities, more people, because London, I think, and what it's giving you besides a nice diploma from a great university is also the experience of life. And going back to Greece, it was 2002, 2003 when we are 4 partners, and one of my partners having already some knowledge and know-how about the Romanian business market. He was telling us, guys, let's go to Romania. I believe it's a really interesting business country to make business. And indeed, we started doing some trips. We fell in love with Romania from the beginning. It was a country that clearly showed that it has a lot of potential. We felt that we would be really appreciated with a vision about business, and appreciated as well that the market would be seeing whatever you give and you're adding value, you're actually receiving also appreciation. We felt that there is a market with huge opportunities, And since 2003, we all four of us came and we lived permanently in Romania. So
back in those days, Romania was still out of the European Union. And in 2003, we already knew that we are going to integrate in the European Union.
There were clearly the vision about what could happen, obviously with a risk.
Okay.
Even today, we do not have euro. And theoretically, this should have happened, I do not know, maybe 15 years already, we should have euro as currency. Without me judging about being better or not, about the economy, it's a different talk and different subject. But there were, together with risks, about how the market would be actually evolving, there were clearly the direction towards Romania going in this euro direction, in this area that the development, the business development would be there. It has changed completely. It's a completely different country. I feel that I'm actually half, let's say, Romanian, being almost 2 decades in Romania. My children are here, I'm going to school here, and my wife, we are clearly here. So I do believe that it's a really interesting and a beautiful place to be, to work, and to make dreams about the future.
Back in those times, 2003, I think you took some risks. It was right after the dot-com bubble. So 2002, 2003, Romania wasn't in the EU, was going to integrate into NATO. I think in 2004 was the moment. So you needed a really long-term vision, strong long-term vision to understand what's happening here and start investing. How was it the beginning? You started slowly with small investments. You started studying the market, and you took some years to study it and then started investing. What was the plan at the beginning?
So clearly, calculated risks is for me what is representing my philosophy on business. You need to take risks, and these risks, however, they need to be calculated properly in order to know where you're standing. If it's a zero risk situation, it clearly, business-wise, it would be difficult to thrive. So having a vision, having on the same time some principles that you are not willing to destroy or to step on your principles, but being clearly flexible based on the dynamics of the market, I believe it's how one should be passing through all the situation of the market, all type of risks or type of business situations. You have some very clear principles, you believe in them, you stick in them, you are not constipated not to move, you need to be flexible at the same time, but without destroying your main vision, your main principles. So yes, it's something that we strongly believe from the beginning. Answering also to your question, it took us, if I'm not mistaken, almost 1.5 years to acquire our first land. So we were studying the market a lot. We were trying to understand how is the market, how was the market until then, how was the market in that period of time, and how we felt that the market would be going in the future, and of course correlated with where we felt that we can give added value to the product that we will be delivering. So is it what type of apartment, what type of home, what type of office building, whatever it would be, we needed to understand where we can bring some extra value. But yes, we are very, we do not like risk at all in all our business endeavors. As I said again, you need to take some calculated risk, but after analyzing a lot the full market, we did buy our first land, which was where I was staying, our first apartment in Cizmigiu area. It was on that street over there. I was living over there until 5 years ago when I moved to Amber Gardens. And we did that, our first project, and then step by step, we felt more comfortable. We saw the market even better. We understood the market even better. We started being appreciated as well, I believe, also from the market. And one thing brought the other, and right now here we are with the Amber Forest project.
Alex Sonor, the company's name, has something with your name, with Alex?
Actually, indeed, it's the four names of us. It's Alex, Leonidas, Soni, and Orestis. So it's the four of us that we came back in 2003. Friends from university and even before that. And yes, so indeed, it's the four of us.
Okay. Coming back to Amber Forest. now is definitely known as one of the most sustainable projects in Romania. So I would like to go more into this topic. It's a topic that I give a lot of attention to. I'm a big fan of heat pumps. Actually, I bought this house in a project in the eastern side of the city, and they were planning to put a gas installation in the house, and I stopped them at the last minute and told them, you cut all the pipes that you're trying to put in my house, and please start installing a heat pump, and it works magnificently.
Super. Happy to hear that.
I think in terms of cost, I had like 120 euros per month for 150 square meters of useful of house, and my neighbor that has classic gas heating system, I think it had an invoice like three times the amount. So in terms of cost, it was the best decision, but also in terms of comfort, I think it's better to live in a house that has sustainable solutions. Mm-hmm. But tell me a bit, what's your vision in terms of what you implemented in Amber Forest? Because basically you mastered everything there. I mean, everything that it's in the project, it's sustainable, or has to be sustainable, or at least most of the system that you used. Tell me a bit about these things.
I will have, for sure, very happy to share some ideas and what we did. I will start with Amber Gardens, because actually Amber Forest, we took all the information, the knowledge that we created from Amber Gardens, and we zoomed out to the community level, which I feel that this is the main focus point for us, for sure, and maybe for other developers as well. So in Amber Gardens, we started with, as I said, foundations being isolated, thermal insulation at that moment was polystyrene up to 30 centimeters. Now we're using vata minerala. We are talking about heat pumps, ground to water heat pumps as well, that they are even more efficient, having an even better COP. Heat recovery units. Heat recovery units, it's quite simple for somebody to understand. It's like bringing fresh air in the house 24/7, like a Class A office building. But clearly, when it's January and it's minus 5 degrees outside, you can do it by opening the window. Fresh air is coming. But then this air, it's cold, and you need to heat the house, to bring it back at 22, 23 degrees, whatever was in the house. A heat recovery system is actually taking the air from outside, from minus 5 degrees, is preheating it prior to putting this fresh air in the house, and to 16, 17 degrees, for instance. And then you just need to add much, much less to bring it to this 22 degrees that you want it in the house. And this is very simply done automatically, because when you are actually throwing out the used air from the house, which is already at 22 degrees because it's the air that you had in your house, you're throwing it outside, and it's automatically preheating without, of course, correlating and connecting the air. It's preheating the air that is coming from minus 5 degrees, and exactly the opposite happening in summertime. It's August, you're 38 degrees outside, and the air in the house is again at 22, 23 degrees, let's say. So again, when you bring air at 38 degrees and you throw out the air of 22 degrees, 21 degrees, whatever it is, then it's automatically dropping the temperature from the air outside, so you have fresh air. So this brings also a lot of health, a lot of comfort, it's a feeling of living much more healthy and luxury and comfortably that you don't really realize. Then you have solar water collectors. That it's sunny, and right now, the last years, the sun all over, not only in Greece or in Italy or in other more southern countries, but also in Romania, you are able to heat water from the sun and have water that is circulated for domestic use, for your showers, for machine despalator, whatever in any case would be needed, or for photovoltaic panels. So you want to be even completely independent and being able to produce electricity that you can even store in batteries. Again, you can have it.
You have also batteries in the houses.
Yes, of course. Depending on then it goes to customization, what the client would be needing, how much he would be needing, what type of sources. He wants also an electric car station in order to, because he has an electric car and he wants to charge it as well. We're talking about triple glazed windows. Back then, when we started, it was only Schuck and Rainers that had the profiles that we were using, certified from the Passive House Institute. We are working with Amber Forest, and from the beginning with Amber Gardens with Rainers, a very successful collaboration for both sides. The triple glazed windows, having specific details on the technical details for the glass, for the window. I will not necessarily go there. Many other membranes to create an actually airtight home, because you cannot have actually a home that is losing and you have current, or you have losses or no thermal bridges, and an airtight home. And these are elements that they are quite important. But I would say even more important than this are very simple elements of bioclimatic design. So designing each house based on where it will be located and position and the orientation of it, so you will be having correct and beautiful light all day long, the maximum possible, let's say, throughout the entire year, but on the same time without having sun coming in the house in summertime, while having sun coming in the house in wintertime to heat the house. So the bioclimatic design principles that, if they are well thought from the very beginning, initiation of the project and the initial design, they can very be simply implemented during construction, and these do make a difference. So in Amber Forest, we try to have all this, and zooming out, going towards the entire community, because as said earlier, I strongly believe this is where is the future. It's addressing to the needs, not only on a sustainable home, but in a sustainable community, being able, and sustainability, I'm going even to more simple things. When you have children and you have to take your daughter for ballet and your son for basketball, and then they need to have some other activities, and you need to go to the office, and then you need to have another arrangement with the family or with your wife and friends to go to have
a lot of carbon emissions.
Exactly. As simple as that. Yeah. So it has to do with time. It has to do with your time on all this that you are losing, and you are much more actually efficient. But at the same time, it has to do with carbon emissions. So if you think all this, you are simultaneously giving answers to the very crucial concerns that every one of us has. Where will I take my child for basketball, for tennis, for ballet, for swimming? Where they will be socializing with other friends? I have to go to Herrestrau Park, to Tineretului Park, to Cismigiu. No, we have 5-hectare parks within our community, and automatically it will be a gathering point for everybody. Same will be a point of attraction. All this agora means actually marketing Greek language. So we will have our agora, which is 4,000 square meters of GLA for all these services. We're talking only about services. So you will be able to find everything you need, and next to it you will be having another 27,000 square meters of land where you have the educational part and the sports part, with external pools, with interior pools, with tennis courts, paddle courts, etc. So if you have this and you look at it as an entire product, then I believe this is what, in our view, of course, the market will be demanding and asking in the future. Clearly the market is dynamic, and clearly any developer should have his ears open in order to, with the radar, understanding the next steps. This is again, however, having to do, is the push properly done? Because if you have a push that you can be flexible and fine-tune your product, and this is one of the beauties of the horizontal development, that you have with the correct push the possibility to do fine-tunings based on what the market will be asking in 1 or 2 years from today, then you will have a successful project. But it should not be clearly, in my view, emphasis on square meters and cut. And in papers, yes, I would. In Amber Forest, I was able to construct almost 3 times what I'm constructing, more than double. And in papers, it would be much more successful project, but it would be a different product. It would be a different project, and the market, in my view, would be very much questioned if it's the product and the project that they will be looking to raise their children and to live over there.
You need a lot of courage to have a cut of whatever you had on the land and use only 1/3 of it?
Yes, almost 1/3. Pot, we are using 15%. 85% is not built area. Streets, pavements, bike lane. We have a 4.3 kilometer bike lane and running lane. A lot of green areas. We have 5.3 hectares of common green areas besides the green that you have in your house, in your garden, your backyard, in your front yard. We have another 5.5 hectares of common green areas. So investing towards the agora, towards the sports facilities. But this is the product. And yes, you do need to take this risk, as we were saying earlier, this calculated risk by sacrificing or investing. But I believe it's something that if it's very well thought, the market will appreciate. I'm really looking forward. Obviously, it's my baby, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm really happy that I see it in a very good stage of construction. But I'm so looking forward to see it finalized and to see the first families becoming my neighbor. I'm living in Amber Garden, so actually I will be part of it as one way or another.
Basically, you're launching a great example in the market now with this perspective, because basically using only 1/3 of the coot, giving so many facilities to the community, using so many sustainable solutions, it's something kind of new. There are some other projects in the country, in Cluj, some smaller ones in Bucharest and some other cities in Romania. But to do it at this scale, you need definitely a lot of courage. But I think it's more than courage. I just saw an article coming from the guy that launched Patagonia. You know, the brand, the clothing brand, Patagonia. Today he said that he's donating his multi-billion company to organization, a NGO basically, a foundation that is fighting climate change. This is a statement. This is really a great statement. You can imagine. Basically, Patagonia is one of top 3 brands in the world at this point, by using so many sustainable solutions in the productions and distribution and entire value chain. And this is what he's doing the next step. So basically, I see you guys, you and your partners, and basically the entire team at Alex Skouras, that probably being a bit before the era, but launching that great example that the real estate market needs in order to go in this direction, because this is the right direction. Probably 10 years from now, I can do a prediction. 10 years from now, all the projects should be like this. Besides the smaller ones that are small plots and you can do more than what the plots can offer you. But the big projects have to be built this way.
I completely agree with you. The only thing I will make a small comment, not really disagreeing, is that I do not believe anymore that it's a risk. This was maybe a dream, an idea that we had when we launched, when we started. Right now, it's actually already proven to be what the market is asking. The fact that we have 350 families that they are waiting their home to be delivered and them to live over there, it already gave the success checking that this is indeed where the market should be going. So perhaps it's the 10 years you're saying, or less or more, but it's clear that the market is appreciating a good product, a good project, and it's something that it's already there. It's not anymore a dream or an idea with a huge risk. It's already shown that this is what the market is looking for.
And it's successful, you sell, so basically the market confirms that the perspective was right. But still, I think I will launch to you an invitation 10 years from now. So today is 15th of September, okay? 2022. We'll meet again in 2032. It's a deal.
It's a deal.
And look again at this podcast and see if we were right, okay?
Looking forward to it.
I will check my calendar and put it there. Podcast with
10 years
Alex.
from now. Not bad. I like it.
We saw all the good things that Amber Forest delivers to its clients and the community and to the entire market. Tell me a bit about the challenges, because I believe that it was also a big challenge to basically start the project, so design it, of course, and then start it. And in terms of technical solutions and teams of workers and companies and entrepreneurs that were basically contractors that were involved, I'm sure that it was a challenge, but tell me more about it.
I think that the big challenge, it starts from the very beginning, where you are having in our case, a 31 hectare lot, that you have a plain field and you need to draw the correct lines of where it has to be put, what you have to put where. Where is the street, where is the park, where is the green area, where is the house, where is the how much you're sacrificing / investing, of course, this is what I mean, for your vision, for your dream to come true. So you need to do a very good analysis of the market. The fact that the market, it's a difficult market. When we first started with Amber Gardens, it was, I think it was a blessing at the end of the story, the fact that very few real estate even agents, they believed in what we were dreaming. And this made us strengthen much more our sales team, because everything we did in Amber Gardens in-house, and the majority as well is also in Amber Forest in-house, because it was a product which was difficult to be understood from the market and people to say that this is where it's going. So going towards the design of the concept, sticking to the principles and ideas that you should not be giving in because this could be more profitable for the company doing this, and gaining some profits while destroying your dream. It is a difficult task, and clearly then when you have to talk with suppliers and contractors, and when the situation is so unpredictable as it is today, it makes it clearly much more difficult. So it's very important that team to have the knowledge about not only sales team, what is happening in the future and how it should be properly designed, the product, the community, the house, the apartment. We have more than, in total, 50 types of houses and apartments together, because we want to address the needs as we feel they are the needs. So it's very difficult. And imagine now you're adding all the complexity we have 4 general contractors right now simultaneously working in the project. And you need to coordinate, you need to do project management, you need to keep the high level of construction that you have promised and you have you are delivering to your clients, and in this unpredictable scenario with what is happening with the prices. And on the same time, you should, as I said once again, you should be keeping your vision true, because this is what it counts, without making sacrifices on quality. So indeed it's difficult, it's hard, but we are 20 years here, this is our job, and we believe that we are with problems always and with mistakes always, that we are trying to solve and to get better into the next thing we are doing. We are there to solve it and to deliver what we have promised.
Okay. So many challenges, but positive perspective over them.
Yes, indeed. I don't think there is a developer that will tell you that there are no challenges, there are no mistakes, or there are no issues. The issue, the thing would be that whatever happens, you solve it because you want not to put the problem below the carpet, but actually solve it and move on. And I think this is what makes a big difference of the respect and appreciation the market has to a developer, if actually he's giving his best and delivering what he has promised at the end.
Excellent. We spoke about 10 years from now, but I would like to see the prediction coming from you for the next 3 years, because now we both know that things are a bit unstable in many areas of the market. There are on one side prices that basically stay at the same level in the last few months, but demand that definitely is lower than the beginning of this year. And we have prices of the construction materials that we either go up and go a little bit down and then go up again, either go all the way up and they don't stop. So definitely it's a difficult market to be into now, but this is what makes us better. So I would like to see what's your forecast in terms of, let's say, market trends, but also construction trends, in terms of costs, in terms of probably materials, what you see in the coming 3 years. And
you're not talking about our project, you're talking in general about the market.
In general about the market, yeah.
I believe that Romania we had a very low construction cost. Mm-hmm. I do not think that we will go back there, not even close. So I will not say optimistic, because I don't think I would necessarily see it as a good part going to where the market was, because automatically it will have an impact with quality. So I do not think, though, that the market would be going to where they were in terms of construction. I'm not seeing it continuously increasing. So already we have seen several materials that they have been more reasonable and they have dropped the price. Some of them, they were in previous levels that they were even before the war. Some not, they're still quite high. I do believe, though, that Romania was a country that it was cheaper than the average peer country in the neighborhood. And I find it logical that the prices have increased, and I'm not seeing them decreasing as they were. On the same time, I believe that the product that is delivered and will be delivered in the next 3 years is better and better on a daily basis, because this is what the market is demanding. This is what the market, which is more educated, is asking for, and I see it as a good part, the fact that it will be delivered a better product. And these better products, better projects, I believe that they will be having no issue. They will be able to be successful, and they will be able to deliver the homes, apartments, houses, whatever it may be, that they have promised, and the people trusting to these developers, they will be happy living in this type of communities, this type of homes. I strongly believe in mixed-use projects, and as you understood, in my view, more on the horizontal development, not necessarily the vertical development, but clearly there is a market for also vertical development, again, having to think on community issues and not just apartments in a high-level building inside the city center. But I also believe that in the next 3 years we will be seeing several stakeholders and players on the market. It's developers, it's constructors, it's other people in the market, that they will be struggling and they will have many issues because they were not delivering what the market was asking. They were not delivering what they have promised. We are seeing several people in the market that they have entered the last years. They were not professionals on what they are doing. They had another job and they said, okay, let me become also build this 5 apartments or 5 houses or whatever it is. Some of them that they're doing a great job and it's more boutique. I'm sure that they could not be an issue, but some others, I believe that it will not be so easy, very simply because the market will be asking a more educated product. They will be filtering much better whom they are trusting their homes. Who is this seller, this developer, this constructor? Am I feeling comfortable to give him not only my money from my boutonnière, but also my dreams and my hopes for raising my children over there? And these filters that they are extra being put, I see it as good because the market will be actually more professional, more serious, offering a higher quality product.
So basically you see it as a strengthening of the market, this period, more than a challenge, let's say, to the fundamentals of the market.
It depends on what you mean by strengthening. Strengthening in terms of some parts of this pie will not be existing or will be much smaller, yes. And some others will be actually receiving the value that they have because indeed they managed to deliver. They managed to give what they were promising. So yes, but there will be, as always in a dynamic market, there will be things that they need to be answered. And I see that as better, this is what I think is the most, as better and more educated is the market, is best for everybody.
Totally agree with it. We are basically closing to approaching the end of our podcast, and I would like to go back to the country that all the Romanians love, and that's Greece. You chose Romania to invest, but you, in the meantime, chose to invest also in Greece or only Romania?
No, we decided to come here and stay in Romania. I believe, and we believe, that you are not really on top of what you are doing. It's very difficult to actually do with the same passion and with the same love and deliver what you have dreamt to deliver. So no, we are very happy being in Romania and having our future plans for Romania.
Good. So Romania is going vacation in Greece, and Greek people come and invest in Romania.
Fair enough. And thanks for your cycle. Help on our GDP. We need it.
Yeah, and the cycle goes on and on. If Greece plays Romania in football or other sport, you'll be the sporter of?
Unfortunately, I'm having this basketball, it's Eurobasket. And we just lost 2 days ago from Germany.
Okay.
So our recent demon was Germany, that they beat us. I don't know if you're a fan of basketball or not.
I used to be, but I still check a little bit. Yeah.
So we had a great team. We still have, of course, a great team, but we had big hopes. But this is.
And if Greece plays Romania, you be the supporter of Greece or Romania?
If Greece plays Romania, I have to admit that I will be supporting Greece. I will have to ask my children what they will be answer.
It's gonna be a big fight. Good. Thanks a lot, Alex, for being here in our podcast. So good luck with the project. I heard that you have also you plan to build also padel sport area. I'm a big fan of padel.
Okay.
I just played yesterday.
Super.
Yeah, so probably we'll meet there.
Happy to invite you and have a game over there.
Yeah, for sure. Let's redo this podcast in the future after Amber Forest is finished, or maybe the first phase. Deliver with the first people living there to see what's the vibe. Maybe we'll film it even in the project, exactly at close to the inauguration. And let's keep close. I'm sure that you're going to inspire many other people to go this way.
Super. Yeah. Thanks for the invitation. Really nice talking to you. And see you soon.
Guys, you met Alex. He's a great guy. And I'm sure that after you met him, you are more keen to go in projects like Amber Forest or even in Amber Forest. It's a project that I support a lot, and I'm putting in many market studies for our clients many times. So you can trust what these guys are doing there. And even if these times are not, let's say, the best to think about investments in real estate, you have to go where there are professionals behind, where there are people that have plenty of experience in the market, and where the product can be an example also for the future, not only for the past. So basically, you can see 10 years from now how an important sustainable project will be as an investment asset for you. So until the next time, you stay with us, share, subscribe, like, go on amberforest.ro. You have the website here. And see you in the next podcast when we'll talk about the residential market with an informed perspective about the market with factual data about the residential projects, about their selling, about many technologies that developers use in these times. So stay close, go to Amber Forest, and Alex, good luck in your initiative.
Thank you, appreciate it.